Good morning, everybody. This is David Corwin. I'm one of the sales directors here at Insurance.
Go back to this and just leave it there, and then right at 10 o'clock I would hit that button. But I heard you loud and clear. So I'm going to go back to my computer.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
Good morning, everybody. This is David Corwin. I'm one of the sales directors here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. We're going to be going over the product here in just a little bit. The Secure Advantage 6 product with Brighthouse Financial. We're going to be joined by Caleb Dishman from Market Cities Europe. He's going to be going over the product in a little bit more detail. But before he does that, I do have a couple of things I do want to share with you, how we operate here and how we work with agents. I do want to direct your attention to the top right there, 800-255-5055. That's, of course, the number that you would need to call for anybody here at IMES. We feel that you just having one number to call, you get your answers a lot faster than otherwise. There's no voicemail, so there's nothing to wait around for. You get your answer right away. We feel that that's a lot more efficient way of operating. We have a business builders here. So we have a referred producer program as well as a marketing reimbursement program. So we would pay you, basically it's a way of saying thank you for referring producers to us. So if you refer a producer to us and they actually get contracted, a $50 check is sent to you. If they write any bit of business, you get a $100 check as well. And then you also get to ride along with them, if you will, 20 basis points for all the business that they write throughout the year. So you would get a 20 basis points override, if you will, on their business. Marketing reimbursement program, that's a $100 marketing reimbursement for every $100,000 of premium that you write. We don't really care what that's for, as long as it's for marketing. You send your receipts back into us and we would reimburse you a $100 check. The new producer builders, that is something that we have added to, revamped over the years. I think we have it where we need it. We just increased it here very recently. We actually used to have 3, now we have 5 different levels. So you can kind of see the various perks and benefits and things like that that you would get for producing at those various levels. And that's in the first 180 days or 6 months of production with us here at IMES. Back office support. So we want to make sure we save you plenty of time because we know that time is money. We have business building tools and resources on our website. There's a myriad of information on there. The sales resource library, there's tons of information. There's nothing you cannot learn about our industry on that one particular tool on our website. Case design assistance, we do that on a daily basis with all the agents that we work with. Forms at your fingertips. Submission to commission support, that really highlights our new business area. If you've not experienced anybody here at IMES, as far as new business, we scrub your cases, make sure they're properly signed and all the information is on there before they go to the carrier, that just means you're going to get paid a lot quicker than it would be otherwise. So really feel free to reach out to anybody over there at the in the new business area as well. So life annuity quotes, that kind of goes along with the case design assistance. We do that for you. We usually have about a 24 business hour turnaround time on that. Most of the time it's done inside of the day in which you request it. Top sales expertise and coaching. We have various coaches all over the country that are just willing to work with you because we're here in Omaha, Nebraska. We have coaches all over the country that might be in your backyard for that matter, that would be willing to help you out with anything that you might need there. Paperless contracting. So gone are the days where you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork, go to Best Buy, get a bunch of ink and paper, and then print out a 48-page document. We actually have it electronically, so we can get you contracted on the fly. So if you have a carrier that you want to get contracted with, then it's very, very simple. It's done with a mouse and not a pen. I really like that. Back in the day, it was a very, very problematic process. So that's just something that I think that's a great thing and great service that we offer agents like yourself. Firelight. So that's a brand new system. You now have access to Firelight through us. So that's a way to electronically submit. I would say of the 65 or so insurance carriers that we have, I would say 75% of those carriers are actually through Firelight. So you can write your cases electronically and not worry about submitting. We get lots and lots of apps, and we've had over the past 33 years since we've been doing this, applications that are not filled out properly. You can't read them, and carriers get those, and that just means that it's going to take a lot longer to get these issued than it Firelight. So we really encourage you, and it's a great benefit to you to have that accessibility to be able to write that electronically and not have to worry about any sort of form getting lost in the mail or anything like that. Carrier's not available. You see that on the screen there. We have a lot of carriers. American General, I'll just let you read those. I'll let this screen sit there for a little bit, but there's a lot of carriers that we have. And I always say and counting, because we are always adding carriers on there that are beneficial to agents and clients out there. Coming soon, of course, you see all those carriers on the right-hand side there as well. But lots and lots of carriers. There's really nothing you can't do with us. Creative marketing solutions. This is a way in which you can get branded. If you don't have a website, that's one of the services that they offer over there. Jacob's team over there, feel free to reach out to them and they can help you out with that. But there's a lot of information out there and a lot of things that we can do for you that other IMOs don't offer. Just the one thing, the digital solutions, the personal website, I like to talk with agents about this. If you don't have a website, I swear you're going to lose business to those that do. Because if you don't have a website, if you meet somebody at a wedding reception, wherever you go, and the next thing that they do after they meet you is to check you on the Google you, and they can't find you, you're going to be forgettable. You don't want to be forgettable. You want to be memorable. So that's just something to really to key in on there. And I would certainly take advantage of their team over there, because that's great support for agents like yourself. Our IAMS website, that is just something to really to take a look at. It's free registration for you. There is a library of information out there that you can certainly look at. There's nothing you really can't learn about the industry than going there. It's called the Sales Resources Library. It's something I like to talk with agents about. Like I said, there's nothing you can't learn on there about our industry, and it's all free to you just by registering on the website. Retirement Analyzer. This is something that you would most certainly want to take advantage of. There is a free trial for that. That's a way in which you can put all of your clients' information into, and it spits out a report that is terrific to show your client. There's a ton of information on there if you want to learn about how long the money would last, various economic times that could certainly affect your client's assets and things like that. That's offered through Marcus Solar, so make sure you give him a call about that. IAMS Wealth Management. That's a way in which, if you want to consider getting a 65, we have that ability for you to come under us or come under IAM's wealth management. And I think there's the last report I saw was 10 of our top producers, 8 of them had their 65. So that just means that there's a lot more ways in which you can market yourself. And Charles's team over here can certainly help you out with that as well. So if you want to learn more about that, please feel free to check yes or no on that. And I'm going to pause just for a second for you to do that. Okay, well, thank you very much. If you guys can hear me okay now, then that's great. Okay, I apologize for that. A little bit of audio problems there, but thanks for I guess answering on that question. I appreciate that. A little technical difficulty, but I appreciate you staying with me here. Okay, the Life and Annuity Academy. That is something that we have a lot of agents registered for and attend. We approximately have about 40 or so that go to that. We do that about 3 or 4 times per year. And it's just a great way to learn about our industry. We have about 3 or 4 of our top producers that actually attend these, so you can certainly get a lot from them as well. A lot of times they're sponsored by the carriers that we work with. This particular one that we have coming up is sponsored by Athene. And please, I'm going to actually launch another poll for that as well. So if you'd like to learn how to attend this and register for it, I'm going to go ahead and launch that as well for you. If I can get this here, just a second. So I'll get back to you on that particular one. But if you want to attend, certainly I can certainly send you. You'll get an email on that as well on how to attend that particular academy, as well as register for it. Okay, then we're going to talk about 3 different trips as well, and then we'll close up. And I sure hope that Caleb can hear me by now. Are you on there, Caleb?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. I sure can. Thank you very much. Apologize for the difficulties there, but okay. So a couple more slides here to show you. Thanks for, like I said before, thanks so much for attending, taking some time out of your morning this morning. But so we have the Los Cabos trip coming up here in August 26th through the 29th. That's an Athene sponsored trip, and I always look at the screen. I wish I could go to that, but I'm actually getting married during that time. So anyways, the next one is the Paradise on the Pacific. That's the IAM's Marketing Summit. That's one of our trips as well. Qualification period on that is July 1st through July 1st of 2019 to December 31st of 2020. It does require 3.5 million points there. And the next trip is an extension on that one as well. And that one goes from March 11th through 14th through the 14th there, and that requires 6.5 million points. So with that, I do want to tell you thank you very much for attending. This is kind of where I'm going to stop here, and Caleb Dishman, as I explained before from Market Synergy Group, will be handling it from here, talking about the Brighthouse Secure Advantage 6 product. And I tell you, I've been in the business for about 23 years now, and I don't think I've seen a product that has better accumulation than this one. From the extremely high cap rates, I'm looking at the cap rate sheet here as high as 8.25%, par rates being 65%, and I haven't seen anything like this in a little while, ever actually, I should say. And the fact that the caps can't change over the 6-year period of time is a really key factor in the amount of business that we've seen here so far. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share it with or give Caleb the screen here. Just a second. Change presenter there. Are you there, Caleb?
I am. Are you
Great.
able to, let me see here.
Yep.
Able to see my screen?
I sure can.
How's that? Is that show full
That
screen
is
right
perfect.
there?
That is perfect.
Okay, great. So my name is Caleb Dishman, Sales Director for Market Synergy Group, and we are a product development and distribution company, and extremely excited about partnering with Brighthouse Financial in the launch of the Secure Advantage 6-year fixed indexed annuity. The product was available on February 3rd, and so David has asked me to take some time to introduce you all to the product. So first, a little bit about Brighthouse. They are A+ rated on S&P, and they did 12 billion in sales through their Shield level annuity, which is their structured annuity. And so just kind of getting down to the weeds of the product, it is called the Brighthouse Secure Advantage 6-year fixed index annuity. And so let's talk a little bit about the product design. It is a fixed index annuity, like I said, so it is 100% protected. So 100% protected for market downturns. Anytime there is a negative, that they will not lose their principal. And the death benefit amount is updated daily based on full performance to date. And the clients can always go and look at that on their website. Everyone's seen this graph or something similar to this, S&P up and down, but just wanted to point out that it is 100% protected. We do have 2 unique index options. One is a 6-year annual sum option, which we'll get into, and the other is a 6-year point-to-point strategy. On the 6-year point-to-point strategy, they do have, the client has a one-time lock-in feature. So anytime during the contract, let's say year 5, they're up 30% and they're happy with that, they can choose to lock that in, sit on the sidelines for the remaining year, and get that 30% that they locked in at. There's just S&P 500 and Russell 2000 on these. We wanted to keep it as simple as possible. On the annual sum option, it's a cap rate and a par rate, and on the point-to-point, it is just a par rate. And we'll kind of walk through on how these work here in a minute. There is no fees on this product. It's just 6-year accumulation. They have what is called the daily difference, and that is what the client can go out to their website and check their values daily to see where they're at. And the free withdrawals on this product are 10% of initial premium starting year 1. That's a pretty big deal. So if you put $100,000 in, they can take $10,000 out starting year 1. So it's great for planning. So you know exactly what you're going to be able to take out every single year. So the 6-year annual sum is, everyone is familiar with how a monthly sum works. Index goes up and down in any given month. You add 12 months together, and that's what you get. Normally it's capped and has no downside protection. Index could go down 30% in a month. Now that would be a horrible month, but it's still a possibility, and they would have to take the full 30% loss. Well, in the annual sum strategy, we're doing the same thing here, but we're adding 6 numbers together because it's an annual strategy. So, and on ours, there is a downside protection of 10% every year. The index can go no lower than 10% every single year. And they are locked into the rate they choose at issue for the entire 6-year term. There are no renewals on this product. And if the total is negative at the end of the 6 years, they will get 0%, like we just said, on the 100% protected. and we'll kind of go through this more in detail here in a minute. We'll kind of walk through some numbers. The performance lock, like I said, is only available on the 6-year points point with participation rate. Like I said, the client can year 4, whatever, year 5, they can lock in their value any given business day during that term.
Hey,
Three
Caleb,
different
just real
values.
quick here.
Yeah.
Caleb, I apologize. I just want to key in on that performance
Problem.
lock. I think anybody on here that's been doing this a long time, I've been in the business like 23 years. I think that's a really key factor, that performance lock. Just want to maybe talk a little bit about that. You know, just the fact of if you like, I talked to some agents here last week or something, where if this product was around 3 years ago, and so you bought it in 2017, and so you're in the S&P 500, and let's say, you know, the fact of being able to participate in 50% of the S&P 500 over the next 6 years is a really cool thing. And then having to be able to lock it in. So say, for instance, you had $100,000 in the contract, and then again, you bought it in 2017. Now we're in 2020, all-time high levels. You're at 140, let's say 145, and you think the market's going to go down. I would do a performance lock on that and lock in that 145 value and just sit on the sidelines. One would say, well, 145 in 2020, I'm not going to get any more growth on that for the next 3 years. Okay, well, still 145 over a 6-year period of time is still, I don't have my financial calculator with me, but I'm sure that's about 5.5% on average, which is what an indexed annuity is supposed to get, a quality one like this one. So anyway, I apologize for going in there. I just wanted to make sure I made that point there for you, for all the agents.
Yeah, no, exactly what you said. And you feel free to interrupt me at any time and ask questions or jump in. So more than happy to make this as interactive as possible.
Awesome.
Like David said, performance lock, great feature. You know, sometimes clients can go out there and see, oh, year 3 out of 6, I'm up, 45%. But hopefully we don't lose that. But like you said, you can go in and lock that in and make sure you don't lose that. So they do have 3 different values to show. Technically, we'll kind of show it's really only 2 values, but they like to break it down into 3. Your interim value is your time served value. So if you're 1/6 of the way through the contract, it shows 1/6 of your full earnings to date. Your death benefit value and your daily performance value are the exact same. So year 1, you're up 8%. Your death benefit value, you put $100,000 in, your death benefit value and daily performance value will be up to $108,000, and that's what the client would get should the unexpected happen. Your interim value would be 1/6 of that 8%, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. Like I said, annual sum index performance is measured and stored each contract year during the initial 6-year term and summed at the end. On positive index performance is credited based on either whether they're in the cap rate or the participation rate, and the negative index performance, no credited interest will be given. Here's a simplistic version of how this annual sum with a cap rate of 8% would work. So let's say year 1, you're up 7, client gets 7. Year 2, they're up 4, you get 4. Year 3, go up it's up 13, you get 8 because you're capped at 8. Year 4, market's down 12. So we have that floor of 10%. You can't lose more than 10 in any given year. Year 5, you're up 6. Year 6, you're up 3. Sum that up and it's 18%. Now this is not any market performance or anything. This is just a simplistic way to show how this actually works. So any questions on this? Okay. And this is showing the exact same thing, just in a participation rate of 60%. Same thing, up 6%, you get 60% of that, you're up 3.6, and so on. And as you can see, then year 3, you're down 2.7, so you took the 2.7 loss. Add all 6 years together, 15.24. Here's what an actual illustration would look like using the 8% cap. This is our middle band. We will have 3 bands, and I'll show you the rate sheet at the end. So we'll kind of walk through this going from left to right. So your period index performance S&P went up 23.45. you're capped at 8%, so that's what your full performance rate is at. You're at 8%, and then your adjusted is your interim, so that you are 1/6 of your 8% gives you 1.33. And then if you look over to the right in the green, your interim value will show your adjusted performance rate, and your daily performance value will show your full performance rate. And then if you go on to year 2, up 12.78, you get capped at 8%, so you're up 16% now. 2/6 of 16% gives you 5.33 because you're 2/6 of the way through the contract. Your interim value shows 105,333 because that's your adjusted rate. Your daily performance value shows you 116 because that's your full performance rate, and that is also your death benefit. Geometric average on the cap is 5.77%. Any questions?
The one thing I was going to highlight too is the geometric average. That's the average rate of return. So that would be your 100,000 you put in there. You're at 139.97 after the 6th year, and that's a 5.77 average. That's what that geometric average means.
Yep. It's your average yield.
Yeah.
And then as you can see, there's that big green bar right in the middle. It assumes you renew into a 1-year S&P cap at 3%. This is a 6-year contract. After 6 years is up, they have the opportunity to just go into 1-year index options. They can, without a surrender, they can move the contract to whatever they want, or you have the opportunity to rewrite it for full commission as well. Here's kind of an interesting slide. This is kind of showing you how they calculate index performance. In the green, up in year 1, you went from 1,000 index starting value to 1,060, gave you 6% index performance. 60% of that is 3.6. So they're just showing you how that's calculated. What's really interesting is if you look down at the bottom in the negative index performance, going from years 2 to year 3. Year 2, you went from 990 to 850. That's a negative 14% index performance. You are locked in at the negative 10 because that's our floor. But look where your starting year 3 value starts at. It's at 850. It's at that negative 14%. So we're giving you the 60% of the full upswing of the index each and every year. Here's just another way to kind of look at similar to what an illustration would look like with the participation rate. What I do want to point out on this one is if you look down in the blue, the negative index performance, it truly shows even when the index is negative, you're still never losing your principal. It's always going to be your initial premium, unless of course you took out any free withdrawals. So that's kind of what I wanted to point out on this slide. Here's an illustration of the participation rate at 60%. The exact same way as the cap version looked, except this has a geometric average of 7.51 on the average yield. So went from 100,000 to 154,377. As you can see, at year 6, that's when your interim value and your daily performance value equal the exact same. Again, daily performance value is your death benefit. Now we're going to get into the point-to-point, the 6-year point-to-point with the performance lock. This is just showing you year 1 to year 6, you're up 30%, you got 50% of that, so your performance rate was 15%. Again, this is not exact performance, this is just an example of how it would look. Let's say year 5, the client was up 25%, they're happy with that, and they want to sit on the sideline for the remaining year because they think the market's going to drop, and they have that one-time opportunity to lock in. Again, another way of just how the point-to-point strategy works, you're still going to see your daily performance value, even though it's a 6-year point-to-point, you're still going to see your interim value, your adjusted earnings versus your full earnings. And again, if it was negative at the end, you're still going to get your initial premium. And here's what that 50% participation on the point-to-point strategy is. 8.59 is the geometric average. Again, year 6, you're going to see those interim values and daily performance values equal each other. Any questions so far on the point to point?
No, we're good. Feel
Okay.
free to ask any questions. I know that there is you guys have the ability of answering or asking questions if you'd like. So just so you know.
And I'll just keep it here. It's kind of the end of the presentation. Here's the rate sheet of where everything is at right now. Annual sum with cap up in the top left-hand corner. As you can see, we have 3 bands. 50,000 is the initial purchase payment. So 50,000 to 100,000, you get 750 on the cap of the S&P. 100,000 to 500, you get 8%. 500,000 and above, you get 8.25%. As you can see, the Russell rates are right below that. Annual sum on the right side, you have 50, 60, 65. And then the point-to-point par rate is 40, 50, and 55. And you do have a 1-year fixed account option. And you don't, I forgot to point this out, that you don't have to just choose one index. You can diversify in any of these strategies however you want. You can do 25, 25, 25, 25. You can do 50, 50, however you want, S&P and Russell. So you're not locked into just one option. And I believe, and here's your options at renewal. Sorry, 1-year S&P cap, 1-year Russell cap, step rate or performance trigger, as some of you might know, or the 1-year fixed account, or you can, it's out of surrender after the 6 years, so you can move it or rewrite it for another 6-year term at current rates. And that's all I had. I'll keep it back at the rates.
Okay. Okay. I think that's key right there. Are the rates? As I said before in the intro, I've been in this business a long time, and I've probably talked to thousands of agents all over the country for the past 20 years since I've been doing this, and nothing makes agents more upset than what they write today is not going to be what the cap rates are tomorrow. That really tends to bother agents because they get a lot of calls from their clients. Not that getting a call from a client is always a bad thing, but renewal caps are usually pretty crappy across the industry. So if you can have a cap rate at, I'm just looking at the 6-year index term, purchase payments 100,000 to 499 at 8%. That's guaranteed to never change, albeit it's a 6-year strategy. That's a really good thing. You don't have to worry about that. And I think the illustrations I've ran across the spectrum of the 3, probably heavily weighted on the annual sum with par rate. The fact that you can actually just lock it in and wait on the sidelines. By the way, that 100,000 to 145 is about a 6.39% average return. I think that's what it was on my calculator I just ran as you were talking. So that's really good for an indexed annuity, and I don't think most agents should expect more than that, with the fact of not having any losses in the contract. So anything else you can add? By the way, Caleb, do you happen to have an illustration that you can pull up real quick on those last pages? That it's the 3 pages on the back side of the illustration. Do you happen to have that by chance?
I don't, honestly.
You don't? Okay.
Are you talking about like that page 17 that shows all of them? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have that. Sorry.
That's okay. No big deal. So I wanted to, so everybody on this call, just so you know, this was recorded. So we'll be sending you out a recording of this so you can watch it again. But I will be calling you back with any questions that you might have, follow up on any things that you might want to talk about, case design and things like that. I can certainly run some illustrations. But with that, also I do want to say too, and I meant to say this in the intro, is we do these webinars. We do about 4 or 5 of them every single week, and we communicate a lot with email too. But I do want to tell you this, and I even did this myself, is YouTube has a really cool thing where you subscribe to our channel, and when you subscribe to it, you get an email from YouTube, by the way, with the recording every single time we record one of these. So just so you know, that's just something to kind of take a look at. And I want to make sure I covered that. But and I will launch that other. I will be calling you back about the academy as well, because I didn't get a chance to launch that poll if you're interested in going that, because I think that's a really good thing coming up in May. So with that, Caleb, I very much appreciate you presenting that particular product, and also thank you for all the attendees for taking some time out of your morning. We very much appreciate it here at IMS. And with that, certainly I'll be calling you guys to answer any questions you might have. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks, Caleb. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care, bud.